Let's go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Heartland Highlight Reel for January the 29th, 2026. My name is Dave Little, and we are broadcasting from the Dave Cave with recaps of action from Heartland Championship Wrestling and big news from all around the Filsinger Games universe. Let's get into it. Here we go. This week in the Heartland, last night we had action from the Patriot Championship Wrestling live from the Buffalo Memorial Auditorium. Buffalo, New York was the scene. Lots of great action to cover. The opening singles matches. The opening match saw a big victory for the Great Gama. Very impressive win over Dewey Robertson with the Gama throw. And gosh, I spent some time reading up on him. He was quite the competitor, 52 years in the sport, never lost a match, it is said. Elio DiPaolo then followed with a victory over Kevin Sullivan by way of the airplane spin. And then it was the Hot Rod, Rowdy Piper, with a big victory over Hercules Hernandez by way of the sleeper hold, Piper's specialty move. Next up, a couple of tag team matches to determine the top contenders for the Patriot Tag Team Championship, now held by the Road Warriors. In the first match, it was the team of Thunderbolt Patterson and Pepper Gomez with a big victory over Edge and Christian. Pepper Gomez getting the pinfall by way of the Mexican Cradle on Edge. Then we saw the Rock and Roll Express throw down with the team of Steve Kern and Bill Dundee. And the Rock and Rolls were in control pretty much all the way as they laid waste to Bill Dundee. And when Steve Kern hit the ring, it was the Ricky and Robert special, the double drop kick on Steve Kern. Robert made the cover for the pin. So the next in February, it will be a number one contenders match pitting the Rock and Roll Express against Thunderbolt Patterson and Pepper Gomez. And the winner of that match will get a shot at the Road Warriors for the gold. Double main event last night in Buffalo. First, it was a number one contenders match for the vacant Patriot Heavyweight Championship. That title has been vacated as Buddy Rogers has won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. So the Patriot title is vacant, and vying for a shot at that title was Kurt Angle and the Destroyer. And it was Kurt Angle winning that match with a German suplex on the Destroyer. Kurt Angle will now go on to face Bruno Sammartino. What a match that will be. Two definite Hall of Fame all-time great match technicians, both from Pittsburgh, squaring off for the vacant Patriot Heavyweight Championship. And in our main event, the North American Heavyweight Championship was on the line as the champion Johnny Valentine took on the formidable Vader. Johnny Valentine, of course, seconded by J.J. Dillon, and Vader accompanied by Percy Pringle III. And both those managers would end up getting involved. Valentine took a lot of punishment early on from Vader, but it was timely distractions by James J. Dillon that allowed Valentine to take control. Percy Pringle tried to turn the match back in favor of Vader, but J.J. Dillon knocked Percy Pringle over the back of the head with his shoe. That took Percy Pringle out of the match and allowed Johnny Valentine to get the victory with a roll-up as the crowd was shocked at what had happened to Percy Pringle. So bad blood there between Vader and Johnny Valentine, and more bad blood between James J. Dillon and Percy Pringle III. So that was how things wrapped up last night in Buffalo. Around the Filsinger Games universe, Frostbite 2026. Brought to you by Jeff Stafford and Great North Wrestling. That is fixing to happen just in a short time. Let me pull that up. In fact, I've got the details on, sorry about that, got the details on the Frostbite card. Here we go. Great North Wrestling presents GNW Frostbite 26, the promotion's first major pay-per-view of 2026, set for February the 13th, live from the Canada Life Center in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, with a 7 o'clock p.m. bell time. The event was announced by the legendary host Mean Gene Okerlund, who framed the Frostbite as a massive kickoff to GNW's new year. The centerpiece of the pay-per-view is the Lottery Gauntlet, a brutal no disqualification, no time limit endurance challenge featuring 10 of the top contenders in Great North Wrestling: Billy Jack Haynes, Dick Slater, Buddy Rogers, Sting, the Mighty Igor, Bam Bam Bigelow, Danny Hodge, Blackjack Mulligan, Dusty Rhodes, and Terry Funk will all be competing in that match. Some legendary feuds in that situation. Terry Funk and Dusty Rhodes, of course, and the little-known feud between Sting and Dirty Dick Slater. Those of you familiar with Sting's early days knows that there were some backstage issues between those two men, and they will be looking to get it on at Frostbite 2026. All 10 participants will draw numbers from 1 to 10 live on the pay-per-view, with number 1 and number 2 starting the match, and the winner facing each subsequent number in sequence until the number 10 man comes into the ring, and then we will have a winner. There will be 5-minute rest periods. There will be accumulating fatigue and no easy way out. And one final survivor will earn $25,000. Boy, Jeff Stafford heavily invested in this match. $25,000 on the line, and 3 guaranteed championship opportunities throughout 2026. 1 shot each at the Frontier Championship, the Interstate Championship, and the Great North Wrestling World Championship. Frostbite 26 will be a high-stakes, career-defining event that could reshape the entire singles landscape for the year ahead. So Jeff Stafford coming strong. 25 grand deep into Frostbite 2026. Should be a great show next month in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Update from Velvet Wrestling. Neil Lau, the #1 fan of the Heartland, has completed the Kevin Butcher Memorial Ladies Tournament, and the champion has been crowned, and it is Luna Vachon. Congratulations to Luna Vachon, and if you look at her just right, she does bear a little bit of resemblance to Kevin Butcher, so it's only fitting that Luna Vachon comes away your Memorial Ladies Tournament champion. Thank you, Neil, for putting that on in honor of Kevin Butcher. Kevin, it's almost been a month already, and I still miss you, man, just like it was yesterday. So blessings to you, Kevin Butcher, and your family. Looking forward to heading down to Kentucky in June for the Kevin Butcher Celebration of Life. We'll keep you posted as that event comes on the scene. Speaking of events coming onto the scene this Sunday, online, it will be the Filsinger Games Perennial 2026, celebrating 40 years of Filsinger Games wrestling action. On the screen here, you can see the itinerary for February the 1st. These times are in Eastern Time, beginning at 10 a.m. Eastern, with a series of tournaments leading up to the perennial finals. And then beginning at 3 p.m. Central Time, all of the festivities from the Filsinger Games leadership. There will be the Filsinger Games panel, questions and answers, announcements, a special guest to be announced, and at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, the charity auction to benefit the TNT Hall of Fame. So very much looking forward to that event on Sunday. I will probably be in for the afternoon sessions. I have an appointment with the the Lord Jesus Christ in the morning, and I'm not much of an online tournament player. So I will be jumping in probably around 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern Time for the Filsinger Games panel. And the special guest, that's always a highlight to me, hearing from a special guest from the wrestling business and getting to hear some great stories. We've had greats in the past. The manager, I believe it's James Morrison, the Sinister Minister, is one guest I remember. Brian Blair, a previous guest of the Filsinger Games panel. Nikita Breznikov was the guest for one of these perennials. So who knows what Sunday will bring, but I look forward to being there. And you can grab it's not too late to sign up. Today is Thursday. And if you get signed up by midnight Eastern Time tonight, you can get a spot in the Filsinger Games tournaments if you are so inclined. Finally, this weekend in the Heartland, it will be the Atlantic Wrestling Federation on display. Very exciting double main event. A number one contenders match for the Atlantic Heavyweight Championship as Eric Young takes on Tony Atlas. And the winner of that match will get the next shot at the current Atlantic Heavyweight Champion, Paul Orndorff, to take place at next month's pay-per-view broadcast, You Can't Touch This, on February the 7th. In our main event from the Atlantic Wrestling Federation, Mobile, Alabama, batten down the hatches. It's a steel cage showdown between two of the hottest rivals in AWF history as Big John Studd hits the steel cage to take on Blackjack Mulligan in your main event. All right, fans, that is it for this week's Heartland Championship Wrestling Highlight Reel. Thank you all for tuning in. Looking forward to seeing folks this weekend at the Perennial and also online. Probably going to do that, I would guess, Saturday night. Going to try and watch the Royal Rumble on Saturday. Going to try and catch the Perennial on Sunday. As always, my schedule is always to be determined at the last minute. So keep your eyes on the Facebook page. Keep your eyes on Discord. Keep your eyes on YouTube. When I have the time set, I will put it out there. Hope to see you all then, and hope to see you all this weekend at the Filsinger Games Perennial as we celebrate 40 years of Filsinger Games wrestling action. From the Dave Cave, this is Dave Little signing off. That's our stream, and I am out of here.